Ohio Coliseum. Tommy Schegler, Kent Horman here on Xfinity, and once again the building is rocking. A sea of orange. Game number 5. There you look at the Comet bench. Head coach Al Sims. Comets hoping they can close it out tonight to win the President's Cup here on home ice. There's a look at the Comets starting lineup. John Michael Risk at center, Haley Schrock on right wing, Stefan Thorne on the left side. The defensemen are Brent Henley and Bryant Molly, and the goaltender, Nick Boucher.
Love Al Sims going with the Risk line to start things out, because the way this line plays is how the Comets have to win this game. A lot of energy and just grind it out.
They are facing off against Daniel Tatro and Travis White on defense for the Thunder. Matt Robinson, Thomas Beauregard, Aaron Davis up front, and Brian Hogan, who played exceptionally well Saturday night, is in goal. So we have played the opening 30 seconds. Comets trying to put some immediate pressure on, and here is Aaron Davis having it poked away. Vasquez shed and thrown to the ice, and the puck winds up in the Comet zone where it's collected by big Brent Henley. Quickly he fires ahead. Comets dump it deep. That time Vasquez able to sidestep a big check. They'll be hitting early and often in this one. There is no tomorrow for the Thunder. Kays keep it in though. Chalk craftily puts one on goal, steered aside by Hogan. A wraparound attempt by Chalk, but it's poked away. But Colin Chalk, the veteran captain of the Comets, keeps it deep. Vasquez has his stick pulled away, and there is no call. Comet fans not happy with that. Chris Auger collects. It's back on the stick of Chalk, and we have a whistle. Alan Chalk is wondering what is going on there. Our officials for tonight's game, and this could be a key as far as how this game is called. Peter Tarnaris is the referee. The linesman Kyle DiMaggio and Bill McGoldrick. Now there you see it was Hogan who basically flipped the stick out of the hand of Mike Vasquez. There you see the Comets had been leading all the way. They lead all teams in goals, assists, points, and power play goals in these playoffs, and that's why the K's have the 3-1 lead in the championship series.
You can tell in the first couple shifts, Kent, as you mentioned, the Thunder are going to come out and try to lay the Thunder down. There's no doubt this is going to be a physical hockey game. The Comets just have to try to weather that and also at the same time try to take advantage of their speed in order to offset it.
In the corner, Lovell is hounded. Puck comes up to the slot, shifted over, and a shot that time off the stick of Jared Moore is blocked by the Comets. Bobby Chaumont cruising back the other way, but is poked into center ice. Now the Comets have it. Leo Thomas tries to dump it in. It gets into a maze of players, and Kevin Siebel drops the puck back. Jared Moore comes cross ice, and the puck winds up out of play. Now an interesting scratch tonight, though, for Wichita. Eric Lizon, who is basically one of the big, burly, physical players for the Thunder, a 6'4", 235-pounder, known for his physicality and his fisticuffs. He is a scratch tonight, but I'll tell you what, Tommy, there will be no glove dropping in this one. There is just way too much at stake.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that we saw it the other night, frankly, but I agree with you, Ken. We won't see any of that tonight.
Comets have been dominant on face-offs as Chalk wins the draw from Chris Green. Comets dump it deep. Rung around the boards by Kevin Young, but the K's keep it in. A shot flipped high in the air. Comets have it behind the goal. Mike Vasquez setting up shop, tries to center to Auger, but again, too many skates in the way, but Vasquez again has the puck. Comes up front, whirls, wheels around near the top of the circle, shot right on, and into the midsection of Hogan, who makes the save.
That was great stick handling and work to get open for Vass just to stick with it, but nobody in front of Hogan on that one, and he was able to spot that wrister pretty much right off of the stick.
Now this is the 20th edition of the Central Hockey League Finals, the Ray Myron President's Cup on the line tonight for the Fort Wayne Komets, their second season in the Central Hockey League. It's the K's 60th anniversary season. A win tonight would give the K's their 9th title in that 60-year history. Haley Schrock wheels along the boards, digs it along, and it clears the zone. So Bryant Molly will have to regroup for the K's. He turns, the puck hits the linesman. That's onside. Davis breaks in. He is hauled down from behind. There will be a penalty, and they're calling a penalty shot.
Wow.
Well, number one, that is a bad break for the Komets because as the puck was coming to center ice, it caromed off a linesman's skate. And there you see, breaking in was Aaron Davis. Boy, talk about a rarity. For the second successive game, we will have a penalty shot. You see on the replay, it didn't look like Davis was in the act of shooting.
No, it sure didn't. And this is not Nick Boucher's forte. Komets struggled all year long when it came to shootouts. Nick will tell you that penalty shots and shootout formats, not his favorite thing. Let's see if he can step up here.
Well, Davis comes in. Boucher is way out to cut the angle off the shot, and he scores. So it will be Wichita getting on the board first. Aaron Davis on the penalty shot. And that may be a little controversial. You see Davis come in, and he just snapped it over the right pad of Boucher. And for Aaron Davis, that is his 5th goal of the playoffs, and this is 9th game.
Now, we talked about that first goal and how important it would be for the Komets. Same thing can be said for either team, and that goal is huge for Wichita.
Now the puck is drawn back. Tatro comes across to Travis White. Now they come up the right side. It's just dumped into the corner. Maggio has to hustle for the K's. Bodied heavily that time by Flath. Breaking out is Maggio. The young defenseman has it poked off his stick on a good back check that time. And now the Thunder come in offside. So, well, I thought that could be a potential momentum turner for either team. Boucher comes up with the save. That would be huge. Wichita scores. And exactly what the Thunder need is to jump out early, and Wichita has done just that.
Yeah, but the Komets just need to not worry about that, Ken. I mean, they've had success scoring goals. Scoring goals has not been a problem in this series. Wichita is going to have to score a lot more than one goal to win this game.
There's a shot right on, steered aside off the stick of Chaumont. He gathers in, puts it off the side of the net. It's behind the net, and quickly collected by Siebel. He rings it around the other way. And now the Thunder try to break out to center. Chris Chappell sends it cross ice into the corner. Boucher has his pocket picked, so early pressure. Green has it back to the point. Flip toward the goal. That's knocked down by Lovell, and now the Komets breaking out. Trying to come up with some numbers, but the pass goes past the stick of Chaumont. Comes across to Chappell. Chappell down the left wing. Tries to snap a shot on goal, goes off the skates of Jamie Milam. Komets try to clear along the boards, but it's in no man's land, and Wichita will have an opportunity. Right at the side of the net, trying to guide it home was Bembridge, but no. So the Thunder controlling the play early on. Now it skitters behind the Komet net. Jamie Milam tries to turn it up, and again has his pocket pick that comes to the side of the net. Davis, who just scored the penalty shot goal, being hounded by a couple of Komets, and here comes Brett Smith breaking out for the K's. Smith over center ice dumps it in as the K's go for a line change. Fresh legs out there. Justin Sawyer evades the check of Schrock. And now back the other way they come to center ice. Schrock has it on his backhand. Tries to slip by his defender. Can't get the job done as he's bodied off the play by Young. Now Stephon Thorne tries to step in that passing lane, but here come the Thunder once again. Matt Robinson wheels and turns. Fans thought it was offside.
So did I.
And now the puck is cleared, and it'll go the length of the rink. Last touch by a Thunder player, so there is no icing. And here come Wichita, moving it up ice. Just tapped in off the stick of Matt Summers, who's had 2 big games in Fort Wayne, 3 goals. Komets try to clear. That's going to wind up on goal, and Hogan will just safely cover up. We have played 5 minutes on the nose of game number 5 here at the Coliseum. Wichita has the 1-0 lead thanks to the penalty shot goal by Aaron Davis. 2 successive games where we've had a penalty shot. Mike Vasquez scored just 19 seconds into Saturday night's game on a penalty shot. And now Aaron Davis has returned the favor here tonight for Wichita. There's a look at Brian Hogan, who has stepped up his play mightily in a backup role for the injured Adam Russo. Now Maggio tries to dump it ahead. Just chipped in that time by Vasquez. Auger back to Vasquez. Tries to find chalk in the slot. No, it comes back to the point. Shot and score! Oh, what a shot! DeAngelis from the point, tipped in by Chuck, and this game is tied at 1.
Well, what a look by Frankie DeAngelis. He had the opportunity to wind up and just crush one from the point, but he saw Chalker coming in the back door of the slot, fed it to him perfectly, and a great redirect by the captain in front. Hogan had no shot.
So we are tied at 1, and that really picks up the crowd here at the Coliseum. Chalk his 6th goal of the playoffs. The assist on the shot from the point by DeAngelis. Komets again pouring the pressure on. Auger also gets an assist, and the fans looking for a penalty, but no call. And we have a whistle, and right along the boards, Leo Thomas a little bit bent over. Now you can hear the fans upset with referee Peter Tarnaris about the lack of a call on a play in the corner next to the Wichita goal. So the goal for the Komets, Chalk, his 6th of the postseason. Frankie DeAngelis and Chris Auger at the 5:19 mark. And again, our officials are Peter Tarnaris with the armband calling the penalties. The linesman, Kyle DiMaggio, Bill McGoldrick.
Yeah, no one said it was going to be easy. I'd rather see the refs let these guys play and decide it on the ice than being too involved into this game.
Tommy, that's a great point. He's score by Schrock! Oh, Bailey Schrock pounces on a loose puck, and he drives it home.
Well, turnover in their own end leads to Bailey Schrock, the Summit City assassin, striking once again in these finals, getting one top shelf by Hogan, and the K's have the lead.
What a shot by Schrock. 3 Thunder players just left the puck all alone. It was a good poke check by Risk, and look at this go top shelf. That comes at the 6-minute mark, so the Komets 2 goals in 41 seconds to take the 2-1 lead. So this crowd, some 9,000 strong, on its feet. There's a drive that time off the stick of Maggio, blocked away by Hogan. So the Komets on top by the score of 2-1. As they pot a pair of goals just 41 seconds apart. Pascavu along the near boards, collects, and here's Colin Chalk. He'll just filter it in. Stepping into him was R.G. Flath. And looks like we're going to have a penalty. And it looks like it's going to go on Flath. And I have to be honest, I'm not sure about this one.
Slashing.
R.G. Flath goes in for the slash at the 6:35 mark. So the Komets will go on the power play. There's a look at Flath. And it'll be Colin Chalk on the draw against Chappell. Now, a goal by the Komets here would be huge. Let's see if they can keep the special teams working. Jamie Milam tries to rush in to keep it in play in the Wichita zone, but cleared by the Thunder.
Kent, the power play for the Komets has been amazing as of late. They have been cashing in at a high rate.
Now Chaumont feeds it back to Milam. Jamie Milam takes a look. Now Frankie DeAngelis to Milam. Chalk with the one-timer right on as they try to tip it. Boy, cross-check from behind as he was cruising in front with Smith, but Hogan able to smother the puck. So a good sequence there by the Komets on the power play. There you see the one-timer just ripped by Chalk right on.
Komets power play has scored in 6 of the last 8 games, going 11 for 32 over that stretch. They're 5 of 16 in the finals.
Kays again win the draw as they've done so well. There's a one-timer by Milam. That is right on. Oh, puck just squirts free. Kays still control. Now it's Chalk at the point. Little bobbing and weaving. Powell and Chalk, the crafty captain, fakes the shot. Dropping down was Tatro. Now to Chalk. Again, top of the circle. Takes a look. Komets feeling confident on the power play. To Angelis. On the score!
Just like we saw in Game 3, the goals coming quick, fast, and furious. Frankie the blast from up top, and I don't think it got redirected in front on that look up from it. See if Chaumont got a piece of it on the way in.
Well, they're giving the goal to DeAngelis, and the Komets lead by the score of 3-1 as they have exploded here in the first period.
Brian Hogan complaining that he was interfered with in front. Well, I really think Smitty was knocked in to Hogan by the defenseman from the Thunder.
Well, the Komets have reeled off 3 goals in 2 minutes and 14 seconds. It's 3-1 Fort Wayne at the 11:50 mark of this first period. So now the Komets just have to keep building momentum. That time Henley is stepped into by Alex Bure, who is coming off a concussion. Now it comes back. Siebel takes a look, weaves in front, shot right on, and a save to Boucher.
And there's one thing about Boucher, Kent. He will admit that he did not play the greatest game in game number 4. A couple of those goals allowed in were kind of un-Bouche-like, but one thing that we know about Nick is when he feels like he hasn't had a great game, he almost always follows it up with a solid effort.
Well, I'm noticing on that first Komet goal, they awarded that goal to Chris Auger on the assist from Chalk and from Frankie DeAngelis.
Actually, I think they've just changed it back to Chalk like we originally saw.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Okay, so the Komet goals, 2:14 apart, Chalk, Schrock, and DeAngelis. Maggio with the breakout, comes across. Bascaboo snaps a shot on. Hogan with the glove, he gets a little bit of the raspberries. Well, after spotting Wichita, a quick goal just 2:29 into the game on a penalty shot by Aaron Davis, the Komets have come back with a vengeance. Colin Chalk, his 6th. Haley Schrock, also his 6th of the playoffs. And Frankie DeAngelis picks up his 4th goal of the playoffs. This is what the Komets were looking for. Milam gets a shot on. It's goal! Komets! Blocked by Hogan, but it looked like maybe Chaumont got the redirect. And the Komets pouring it on in the first. That comes at the 8:45 mark.
And it is definitely Chaumont in front as we take a look at it. Chaumont redirecting, fighting in front.
Four to 1 Fort Wayne. But there is still a lot of hockey left to be played. Bobby Chaumont collects the goal. For Chaumont, that is goal number 7 of the postseason. Milam and Smith get the helpers. And the Komets now lead 4-1.
Well, it's just these extra effort plays that you're seeing the Komets make, working down low. Milam there doing a great job of fighting off the defender just to get that shot on net that Chaumont is able to redirect. Everything is clicking right now, and the Thunder don't know what has hit them.
4 goals in less than 3.5 minutes for the Komets, 3:26 to be precise. And now they just have to make sure they keep Wichita off the board. Well, that time the fake block that time, and there's a score by Wichita. Komets went down a little prematurely on the block, and that looks like Matt Robinson answers for the Thunder. Well, they say the 3-goal lead is the toughest to hold in hockey. There you see a screen in front on Boucher. Robinson let the Komet defender slide by, and it beat Boucher in the 5-hole right between the legs.
Well, reminiscent of game number 3 that we did here on Thursday night. A flurry of goals from one team, and then Wichita able to come back and answer. You just have to hope that the Komets continue to learn how to play with the lead and continue to do well. They will tell you that it's been their low point, something they've struggled with all year long. In game 3, they were able to do it. You have to hope they can do it tonight.
Well, we've reached the halfway mark of the first period, and what a flurry. 4-2 in favor of the Komets, and again, the puck is given away. It looks like we'll have an advancing the puck to a teammate with the hand. So the faceoff will go outside the zone. So it has been a wild flurry here at the Coliseum. Game 5 of the President's Cup Finals. The Komets lead Wichita 4-2. You're watching Komet Playoff Hockey on Xfinity. Back at the Coliseum, it has been a wild first period. There you see Bobby Chaumont have the save by Hogan off his blocker, carry him right off his leg and in. And that capped off a 4-goal burst by the Komets in 3 minutes and 26 seconds. Wichita answered Robinson the goal at 9:45. The assist to Davis and Beauregard. So what a period, and the one thing, again, everybody has to be mindful of, Tommy, whether you have no interest in the game, whether you're a fan of the Komets, whether you're a Komet, whether you're a Wichita Thunder player, there is still roughly 2.5 periods of hockey to be played.
Yeah, and that's the thing that the K's have got to realize. It is early in the game, and they have got to continue to keep the pressure on. Not go into kind of a defensive mode. Got to continue to attack.
So the Komets again trying to put some pressure on. Dumping it in is big Brent Henley, but now he realizes he has to get back to his defensive position. Well, not so fast. He pinches along the boards and dumps it in deep again. Davis comes cross ice, but racing for the puck is Thorin Robinson. Gives him a shove. Puck comes to center ice. Here comes Kaylee Schrock on the off wing. Tough angle shot. Carries over the crossbar. Komets try to keep it in deep. Schrock steps into his man that time as he gives Jared Moore the rough ride. But here come the Thunder. Davis is shoved to the ice that time by Stefan Thorne. Henley just lets it go behind the net, but here come the Thunder. Robinson tries to center in front. Oh, it just goes off the stick that time of Beauregard, who had the game winner Saturday night. He gets it back to the point, and this time the shot by Sawyer caroms off a Schrock and goes back into the Wichita zone where it's collected by Young. Young's pass is too strong. Here come the Komets. Chalk just flips it back in, so you have the Chalk, Baskevu, Auger line. Back behind the net. Young rings it around the boards. Cleared to center. Good job by DeAngelis with the skate to kick it ahead, but here comes Kevin Young on the breakout. Summers, who has 3 goals in the last 2 games here, dumps it behind the net. With speed, here comes Maggio. Maggio to center, poked away, and here come the Thunder quickly reversing. Beret cuts in front of the net, shot right on, save Boucher.
Wow, Nick bailed him out there. Another turnover in the neutral zone. That's exactly what the K's want to make sure that they don't do a lot of, especially playing with this lead.
Well, and now Alex Beret, one of their top players who's missed the past few games with a concussion. Now it's DeAngelis breaking in. He's bumped to the boards by White. Komets though control as here comes Leo Thomas. Now there's a Thunder player down, but the Komets control the puck. And the Thunder player looks like he's almost out. That looks like Tatro. Tatro very slow in getting up, and there's no whistle. Here comes Smith in front. The shot off the skate. Drive! Saved by Hogan. It goes up into the netting, and it looks like the captain of the Thunder, Daniel Tatro, is hurting as he goes back to the bench. In fact, he looks like
woozy.
Yeah, woozy is the perfect word, Tommy. because I don't want to get medical, but Tatro looks like he is laboring as he's going back to the bench. And the Komets again with good pressure.
We'll have to wait and see if we have a replay, but it looked like his own man. There was a collision between him and his own man at first look.
Well, there you see Tatro putting on a hold, and that's exactly what happened. Summers stepped right into him. Well, wow. Tatro drew an awful lot of penalties in Saturday night's game. He's one of these tough customers. He's the captain, but he likes to play a very, very physical brand of hockey. And he spent some time in the penalty box on Saturday. Yeah, that time he was just absolutely blasted by his own teammate as the Komet player zigged, and Tatro was the victim of the zag. There's a shot that just misses off the stick of Schrock. Battling for the puck and getting it is Stefan Thorne. He's shoved by Siebel. Now again, Wichita having to spend an awful lot of time behind its own net before it can start the breakout. Siebel starts it up to center ice. Just tries to flip it in, but it goes off the skate of Flath. Actually, check that, off the skate of Beauregard, winds up in the bench, so we'll have a face-off. With 7:07 to go in the opening period. And there is a look at Kevin McClellan, the head coach of the Wichita Thunder. Wichita is appearing in its 4th CHL Finals, looking to become the first team to win 3 Central Hockey League championships. But they have some work to do if that's to be accomplished. Here's Milam, leaves for Smith, comes across. Thomas leaves it. Lovell with the shot, just blocked away again with the big blocking arm of Hogan. Smith has it, dumps it in the corner for Thomas. Thomas evades the check, tries to wrap it around, comes right through the goal mouth. And breaking out is Chappell. Dumped into the Komet corner. Milam on his horse, hounded by Summers. Chappell has it, tries to center right in front, and it's collected that time by Green. Wichita trying to wheel again. Blocked. Can the Komets clear? No. Chappell feeds it into the corner. Donahue bumped off the play by Lovell. They battle for the puck. Thomas back to help out on the back check. Lovell pinching along the boards. Look out in front. Leo Thomas tries to filter the pass out. Can't. Shot blocked by Jamie Milam, who caroms it off the boards for Smith.
Great
Smith
pass. Trying
to evade Tatro. Tatro just grabs him and shoves him into the board. Smith comes away with the puck. Tries to center in front and covered up with the big glove of Hogan.
That was a great outlet by Milam to begin that. K's got to get it out of their zone.
Well, if there's anything that the Komets are moderately disappointed in this first period, they have outshot the Thunder 12-4, but half of the Thunder shots have wound up in the Komet net. But if the Komets continue this plan of attack, they should feel awfully confident about their chances. And that time Beret tries to feed to center. Puck winds up in the Komet zone. Boucher does not corral it behind the net. And here comes Wichita with pressure. Bodies flying everywhere. Comes back to the point. There's a shot right on. Tipped by Flath, but blocked by the Komets in front. Now Auger looking to break out. Komets trying to get some numbers. Feathered in front. And a tip. That time score by Bascovou! What a play by the Komets! Well, take a look on the replay. You talk about tic-tac-toe. Just a beautiful little backhanded pass by Auger and tipped by Bascovou, who now, the playoffs leading scorer, has his 10th goal of the playoffs and his 23rd point.
Well, and it's a great example, Kent, of the speed advantage that the Komets have. Vask is able, Auger just is able to sit and wait for Vask to get around his man and then leave it out there with the faith that Vask is going to have the first stick to get to it, and it's timed out perfect. It's another goal that you kind of feel sorry for Hogan. No one's stopping those kind of goals.
Well, Tommy, you make a great point, because this could really have an effect on the mindset of the Thunder, where Hogan was lit up to the tune of 7 goals on Thursday. He played exceptionally well on Saturday, had some help from the posts, but now the Komets have 5 goals on him tonight in less than 15 minutes. That can really shake the confidence but it's not like he's had that many chances to stop these shots. They've been redirections, they've been caroms, they've been tips. But the Komets with the 5-2 lead, now they have to play a strong 5 minutes to conclude this first period. They have outshot the Thunder 13-4. Vasquez, his 10th goal at 14:27. I know Auger got at least one assist.
We're in game 5, and that was the 26th goal that the Komets have scored in the 5 games so far. That's a pretty good clip. And it's got to be getting in the heads of the Thunder at this point.
Well, if you're going to average a 5-spot a game with change,
and have Bush on the other end,
that should bode pretty well. Puck is tied up a bit at neutral ice, so Brett Smith just dumps it in, and here comes Daniel Tatro, so shaken up a bit, but he's back on the ice. And the Komets again, precision passing. Chaumont tries to leave for Thomas. Thomas looks to dump it behind the net. Now it's Tatro. Pressure on him, applied by Smith. And the puck winds up over the glass, so the face-off will be in the Wichita zone. There's a look at part of the big sea of orange tonight here, and there is a look at Brian Hogan, peppered with 13 shots so far here in this first period, and 5 of them have gotten behind him. Hogan pressed into service partway through game number 2, and the starting goalie, Adam Russo, was yanked after the Komets just lit him up in the second period, and then Russo apparently came up with a concussion, and it has been Hogan the rest of the way, and there's going to be a penalty on Wichita.
You can't get away from calling that one.
A shot from behind by Siebel, so we'll see if that's a cross-check. And that is indeed what it is. So that'll be a cross-check coming at the 15:55 mark. Only 2 penalties here in the first period. Both of them have been assessed to the Thunder. And again on the Vasquez goal, Auger an assist, and Maggio also gets an assist. And the Komets back on the power play with a chance to really break this open here in period 1. And we've been informed that the 5-goal explosion here in the first period ties a Komet all-time record of 5 goals in a playoff period. They also did it April 30th, 2 years ago against Port Huron. That was the last time they did it. They've done it 8 total times now.
Well, let's break it.
Well, that's what they're looking to do here with the minute 20 to go in the power play, but it's sent to the other end, so the K's will have to regroup. And they will put a new line out there to see if they can get yet another goal. 3:14 to go in the period, 1:08 to go in the power play as Lovell shot it in, and then he kept up the pursuit, so the Komets are short on the blue line, and now breaking out is Davis, who got the first goal of the game. Tries to go across to Chappell, but the Komets regather, and now here comes Maggio. Daniel Maggio, the rookie, has the puck poked away. Maggio now to the ice, and he tries to clear the zone. Hand passes to Vasquez, which you can do in your own end. Now Lovell. Lovell dumps it in, steered aside by Hogan. And now trying to clear the puck, and doing so successfully is Young. So now 30 seconds to go, and the Komet man advantage as we approach 2.5 minutes to go in this opening period. Maggio feeds it ahead. Schrock rings it around the corner. Stefan Thorne has it. Backhands it back to the point. Lovell takes a look, takes his time, now comes back to Thorne. Komets looking to generate some traffic in front. Tom Mealy is on the ice. One-timer by Molly, just whistles wide. It's perched in back of the net. Tatro tries to clear and does, back to center ice. Power play is up for the Komets. 2 minutes to go in the first period. Mealy with a good body check as he takes his man out, and the Komets continue to pinch on the defense of the Thunder. Here comes Tatro, lobbing one on goal. Boucher can't control the rebound. And the Thunder still trying to get some spirit here. Now it's cleared to center ice. Just dumped in by Mealy. The Komets will get some fresh legs out for the final 100 seconds of this first period. Now rushing it up ice again. Here comes the Thunder as it's Kevin Young, but the Komets poke it away. Here comes Vasquez with speed. Takes a look, whirls around, looks for a mate. Henley, his big body in front, still whirling around is Vasquez. Well, in basketball terms, you'd say he was doing a curly kneel.
I tell you what, it's a great example of the superior speed and stick work that the Komets seem to have over the Thunder defensemen.
Komets breaking in with numbers, down the slot, Risk. He wheels again, top of the circle, tries to fire across, but it's intercepted by the Thunder. Now Wichita trying to break out with a minute to go. Davis fires it deep into the corner where hustling in is Siebel. DeAngelis pounds him off the play. RJ, well, it was Flath now trying to get some pressure on, but right on, a shot is gloved by Hogan, then it pops out. Milam, Auger can't play it because he's offside, so gathering the puck and turning it back up ice is Jared Moore. Down to 30 seconds to go in the opening period, maybe time for one last rush. Mealy leaves it back for Milam. Milam along the boards, right in front of the bench, trying to dig it out. Smith dumps it in. Hogan whirls it around behind the net. Under 20 seconds to go in the period. Smith keeps it in. What great forechecking and pressure by the Komets. Schrock steps into Summers. Now Mealy just tries to dump it back in. Down to 7 seconds to go. Boré can't do much with it. Milam will just look at the clock and hang on to the puck. And we have completed the opening 20 minutes of play. A near capacity crowd here at the Coliseum is giving the Komets a standing ovation. The Komets with a 5-goal first period flurry, and they have a commanding lead after the opening 20 minutes as they lead the Wichita Thunder 5-2 in game number 5 of the championship series. You're watching Fort Wayne Komet Hockey on Xfinity. Well, back at the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum in Fort Wayne, Indiana, this historic building has hosted the Fort Wayne Pistons basketball team. Yes, it's those Pistons, the ones which later became the Detroit Pistons. And now in this, the 60th season of Fort Wayne Komet Hockey, the Komets are just 40 minutes away from claiming their 9th overall championship. They've had 7 in the old International Hockey League, 1 in the United Hockey League, and this could be their first in the Central Hockey League. In this, their second season in the CHL. Komets 2 periods away from the Ray Myron President's Cup as they exploded in the first period. 5 goals, tying an all-time record of 5 goals in a playoff period. The 8th time the K's have done that. They lead Wichita 5-2. Well, if it thought that looked like the Komets can score goals like hiccups, you bet. The Komets scoring 4 goals in a span of 3 minutes, 26 seconds in the first period. They explode for 5 goals over the opening 20 minutes, and they lead Wichita 5-2 in this Game 5 of the Central Hockey League Championship Finals. We'll be back with Period 2. This is Komet Hockey on Xfinity. Welcome back to Fort Wayne Komet Playoff Hockey on Xfinity. Game 5 of the Central Hockey League Finals. The Ray Myron President's Cup could be presented tonight as Fort Wayne with a 3-1 lead in the series has a 5-2 lead over Wichita as we are prepared to start period 2, and history favors the Fort Wayne Komets. No team in the 20-year history of the CHL Finals has ever come back from being down 3-0 to win a championship. But again, the Komets still now less than 40 minutes away as we've played the opening 10 seconds of period 2. John Michael Risk just dumps it into the zone. Collared behind the net by Brian Hogan. As that time, Tetro slips the check of Haley Schrock, but here come the Komets with numbers. Here comes Vasquez breaking in. He's poked away that time on an aggressive play by a hustling Beauregard. Oh, that would have been a glorious scoring opportunity to start period 2, Tommy.
Yeah, that was a great play by Beauregard to end that threat, but what a play by Vass just to gain entry into the zone. The speed and the stick work that not only he, but many of the Komets have shown just seem to be at such a higher level than what the Thunder have to offer.
Komets now try to clear the zone as Chalk is pinned behind the net, rings it around the boards. Tetro with a shot right on, blocked away by Boucher. They try to center in front, but the Komets intercept, and here comes the crafty captain, Colin Chalk. along the boards, tries to dump it in. Can't get it very deep, though. Wichita quickly breaking out. And that time, Alex Bure will flip it into the Komet zone. Daniel Maggio will gather as Wichita getting some fresh legs on the ice. Opening minute and a half of period 2. Fort Wayne on top 5-2. Now just coming onto the ice after the change, Leo Thomas filters the puck into the Wichita zone. Thunder clear at the length of the rink, and that'll be an icing. Well, getting back to the fact that the 20th anniversary of the Central Hockey League, so this is the 20th championship series. No team has ever come back from being down 3-0. In fact, the team down 3-0 has been swept 13 times out of the 20 finals. There you see the Komets' excellent playoff record when leading after one, 7-1 when leading after the first period. It's gone 5 games 4 times, 6 games twice, and 7 games just once. And now this will be another icing on Wichita. I thought that was an important sequence in the first minute of this period, the break-in by Vascovu. It looks again, Tommy, like the Komets are starting to establish the dominance of their team speed.
Well, yeah, there's no doubt about that. It is so evident, no matter whether you're sitting in the first row or all the way up here where we're sitting, how much quicker the Komets are, and not just line 1. I mean, we're talking lines 1 through 3. There's no doubt about that. And also very important in this first minute, 2 minutes of the second period is to see that the Komets are coming out with intensity, taking the play to Wichita. The last thing you want after a 5-2 first is to come back and not attack in the second and let the Thunder get into this thing.
Well, it's one of those old axioms. The 3-goal lead is the toughest to hold in hockey. Komets should have learned their lesson from Game 3 when they had the big advantage and Wichita closed the gap. So the important thing is Komets must stay aggressive, keep the pressure on, not go into that prevent offense.
Leave no doubt.
Which then again means, despite the fact the K's have a 3-goal advantage, that next one could be a big one. Komets get that 6th goal, that could really put Wichita back on its heels. And right now it looks like the Thunder is somewhat back on its heels. Tatro, the captain, slides it back across ice. Now it comes center, too strong for Davis, who has the Wichita goal, the first one, which came on a penalty shot just 2.5 minutes into the game. Komets then answered with 4 in a row. Now the puck back behind the Thunder net where it's left by Hogan. Wichita starts its breakout, flip to center ice. Molly has it for the K's, drops it back to big Brent Henley. Chalk just lets it go, and it will have just tipped off the skate that time of Vascovu, so no icing. Here comes Auger, Vascovu in the slot. Oh, he's bumped on a big check that time by Siebel, and that caught Vascovu up high. So Vascovu is a little weary, and he'll have to come off the ice. Let's hope that's nothing serious. Big drive by Davis, blocked out by Boucher. The rebound is loose. The Thunder try to center. They do. Robinson has it in his feet. Has it again. The shot. Boucher's not sure where it is. It got into a maze of players, and now here comes Chalk leading the charge for the Komets.
That was a great opportunity there by Wichita. Kind of a broken play once Vask had to quickly try to get to the bench as quick as he could, as wobbly as he was. We have to watch and see how long it takes him to get back out there.
Well, here's Summers, comes across to Bure. Bure tries to backhand at the slot. He is bumped heavily that time by Chalk. Now they scrum along the boards, trying to dig it out with their skates. Summers trying to get a shillelagh in there, and he comes out with the puck, centers. Oh, what a save by Boucher on Flab. Comes back to the point. Now it's passed across. Bure gets it out to the blue line. Sawyer tries to wheel it around. DeAngelis looks to chip it out. Chaumont can't get the job done. Now DeAngelis has it. Just flips it up high off the glass, and the Komets will look to dump it in and get a change as Chalk is stepped into by Justin Sawyer. And here come the Thunder looking for the breakout. Good job by Thorne to cut off Travis White, so he has to recycle behind his own goal. We've played 5 minutes of period 2. Still 5-0 Fort Wayne. All 7 goals coming in the opening period. Backhand pass by Green, a little too sharp for Chappell. And just banging it off the boards that time is Lovell. This could be quite a night for Jamie Lovell, who has been on the wrong end 2 different times, playing for Port Huron back in the days of the old International Hockey League. Lovell's teams twice had 3-1 lead over the Komets, and the Komets rallied both times to win in 7. So Lovell has a chance to win a ring, and ironically, it would be with the Komets, the team that beat him twice. Jared Moore is hit by Thorne. Tatro comes up ahead to Chappell. Chappell on the wing. Turns at the hash. Bumped away by Milam. And here come the Komets on the breakout. There's Vasquez, so he's none the worse for wear. That's good news. But the puck is pilfered away by Wichita, and starting the rush up is Matt Robinson. Just flips it in. Boucher puts a stick on it. Leaves for Henley. Henley is bodied by Robinson. No contest there as big Brent Henley, all 6'7", 250 of him. No match whatsoever. Henley now tries to step into Beauregard, but Beauregard tries to center a pass across. Davis with a shot right on, and Boucher smothers it between the big orange pads.
And Ken, you were mentioning Lovell, and the interesting thing about this group, and the thing that's been so much fun watching them play, getting to know them throughout the year, is that there's so many stories up and down this roster that are so different. You have the story that you just told about Lovell. Guys like Milam and Smitty that just come off of a championship down in Bossier Shreveport, but then the team goes over, so they have to find a new home. You have the veteran, the Komet veterans that are looking for redemption and looking to prove that they belonged in the CHL. Just so many different stories up and down this roster.
Here comes Mealy breaking in, centers across, the shot, score! Komets! What a play by Tom Mealy as he centered across to Showman. He's got his second goal tonight, and the Komets lead 6-2. Well, here you see Mealy breaking in, lunging, centering across to Showman, and Showman, a little dipsy doodle, pulls Hogan, tucks it in behind him, and Bobby Showman has his second goal of this game. Showman from Mealy at 6:38, and the Komets lead 6-2.
Well, and then you look at, we continue on with those stories. Then you have guys like Chaumont, Mealy, Risk, Auger, that might be the next generation of Ks.
Pass intended for Risky fans on it, goes back to Maggio. Maggio tries to dump it toward the corner for Thorne, but it's poked away that time by White. Komets still pouring the pressure on. Shot that time by Risk, whistles wide. Wichita dumps to center. Risk quickly turns and fires it back in, and now the Risk Schrock Thorne line, which did a great job, is coming off the ice. Well, I'll tell you, a guy that has just been incredibly valuable in the postseason, Tom Mealy, the 10th forward.
Absolutely.
What a playoffs he has had. Chalk just puts it on goal. The rebound's right there. Oh, batting on the rebound that time was Vasquez.
And I'm telling you right now, Kent, I think that Wichita mentally is already on the bus headed home. I think that goal is the backbreaker.
Well, and again, for those who might be new to Komet hockey or Central Hockey League action, one of the storylines in this series, which we've talked about, is Brian Hogan is the number 2 goalie. He's the backup. Adam Russo has been out with a concussion. Scott Darling was signed as an emergency backup. He cannot play unless Hogan is hurt. So Hogan has to ride this out if the Komets pour 6 more on him. And Brett Smith is leaving the ice laboring. This could not be good.
Yeah, he's down on one knee. He lost an edge right on the boards behind the goal. Did not get up right away. And he's on the bench right now, definitely in some pain. Might have twisted something.
And Smith has been, like so many Komets, and frankly Wichita players, playing hurt throughout the postseason as it is. There's a shot right on, but pinned to the blocker by Nick Boucher as Davis cruised in and tried to beat him from a tough angle. 11:20 to go in the second period. The Komets pouring it on, leading 6-2. There's a look at Nick Boucher. You think this guy has been pretty good? He's looking for his 4th championship in 5 seasons between the pipes for the Komets.
not bad. And he's a guy that came off last year, knew that he was going to be the guy, going to see a lot more time as Kevin Ryder was gone. He dedicated himself in the offseason, stayed here in Fort Wayne, really got himself into the best shape of his career, and he's been fantastic this year.
Young feeds it back to Tatro, now at the top of the circle. Wichita trying to make something happen, but a good block that time by Auger on Beauregard. Beauregard has it go off his skates, and here comes the speed of Auger. Auger by Tetro. Here he comes, tries to center it across. Oh, it's just poked away. But there again, the speed of the Komets. Maggio with a drive, and gloved by Hogan. It is a shooting gallery right now at the Coliseum in Fort Wayne, and the fans are letting the Komets hear it.
What a save by Brian Hogan. That was whistling from the stick of Maggio, and wow, great save.
Well, Tommy, you talk about the Boucher story. He did. He rededicated himself this year to being better rested. He did not play in Australia over the summer as he did 2 years ago. Stayed in town, got himself in great shape, and as a result of that, he was a workhorse this year. Overall, 43-17. And a win tonight would be 44-17 and a fourth cup for Nick Boucher. Wichita still trying to make something happen. And the Thunder is on the power play with Risk in the box. So John Michael Risk was sent to the penalty box, and the Thunder trying to make something happen on the power play. Hayes clear the zone. Good job by Leo Thomas. As we cruise to the halfway point of the hockey game, and right now the Komets are cruising. 10 minutes even to go in period 2, 40 seconds to go on the Wichita power play. That was the first penalty called against the Komets tonight. And the Komets just dumping it deeply. They always hustling Kaylee Schrock, trying to pin Wichita deep in its zone and just take more time off of that power play. Schrock continues to hustle back. What an energy player Schrock is. Here come the Thunder. Chappell comes across to the point to Young. It goes off a skate into the corner. Stepping into his man heavily as Molly and the K's clear the zone. And that should do it for the power play. Maybe one last chance at a rush. Nope, the Komets collect the puck, flip it towards center ice. Boy, trying to gather it in off his heels with Chaumont. K's are back to full strength. Now turning it back the other way is Chris Green. To Young. Komets again chip it ahead, just a little too strong for Chaumont, who'll be looking for the hat trick now, as he has 2 of the Komets' 6 goals. Just under 9 minutes to go, period 2. Here comes Beauregard, and that'll be an offside against the Thunder. And it looks like we'll have a timeout on the ice. It'll give the teams a chance to collect themselves. It's been all Fort Wayne Komets as they lead Wichita 6-2. The Komets 1 game away from a President's Cup championship here on Xfinity. Well, there is a look at the Cup Up playoff picture. Fort Wayne first defeating Rapid City, then defeating Missouri. Now taking on Wichita, while the Thunder got past Rio Grande Valley, got past Texas. And the Komets now just over 28 minutes away from its first Central Hockey League Ray Myron President's Cup championship. In this, their second year in the league, but their 60th anniversary season. Happy anniversary. What a celebration that would be. Komets have to recycle as Molly from center ice dumps it deep into the Wichita zone. Here come the Thunder working its way out, and trying to bring the puck up is Justin Sawyer. And again, the Thunder completely discombobulated as they go offside again. You know, one of the factors, Tommy, Thomas Beauregard just recently back in the lineup. And he seems to just kind of, you know, he got the winning goal Saturday night.
Yep.
This is a guy who was a non-factor. I shouldn't say recently back in the lineup, I guess recently back on the stat sheet.
Well, you know, they have some opportunistic forwards that can hurt you from time to time. But the bottom line is that I feel like the speed on the other end has kept their forwards needing to be back and helping so much that the play is just it's been taken to them so hard that it's hard for even their guys that are their weapons to really take advantage on a consistent basis, because they're chasing after our guys so consistently.
Well, the book coming in, Wichita, big physical defensemen that like to hit. You can't hit what you can't catch. And here the Komets are playing a little pitch and catch. Look at this cycling with Vasquez, Chalk, and Auger. Vasquez still has the puck, fighting off a couple of Wichita players. DeAngelis keeps it in, flips a little high pop-up. That's like a lob wedge. It goes into the corner. Chalk fights off the big hit by Jared Moore. Moore takes a tumble, and here come the Komets. Auger looking to center. Auger at the side of the net. Oh! Vasquez just can't quite put her home, but they cycle it behind again. Now here comes Smith back on the ice. That's good to see. Smith again fighting off Moore. Smith goes to Chaumont looking to tee it up, but it's in his feet. Now Smith to Chaumont the drive, and that's a little high. Under 7 minutes to go, period 2.
But look at Smitty get to that into the corner.
Comes back toward the point area and intercepted by the Thunder. But Wichita is just looking for a line change right now. Clearly the Komets have the stronger legs. Here comes DeAngelis, fine rushing defenseman, crossing center ice, flips it in. Frankie will go for a line change. Komets again putting the pressure on, bottling Wichita up in its own end. Daniel Tatro, who is the captain of the Thunder. Again, all he can do is circle around.
That neutral zone trap is working in full effect right now.
Chris Green just flips it in. The chase is on. Milam has his feet knocked out from under him by Garrett Bembridge. Puck comes out to the point. Young tries to unload, but it's blocked by Thorne. Now another shot is blocked in front by Lovell. Here comes Lovell on the rush. Lovell wants to feel a championship. Lovell fires, and a save by Hogan. Well, if anybody wants to taste some championship champagne, it is Jamie Lovell, the longtime veteran of minor league hockey. And I talked about it earlier, the fact that he's been denied a championship twice by this very organization, the Fort Wayne Komets.
Yeah, that's got to be, you can't imagine what that must be like to have two separate 3-1 leads in your career and lose both of them. But on the same line of conversation, you just have to think, man, what it must feel like to then finally capture it after going through those trials and tribulations, disappointments. It will be a special night for him.
Well, that'll be icing on Wichita. Komets have outshot the Thunder 20-11. And again, if you just might be tuning in, most of the action in the opening period. About 2.5 minutes in, Aaron Davis of the Thunder was awarded a penalty shot. He did beat Nick Boucher. There you see it's the Komets who've been averaging 36 shots a game throughout the postseason. That's a bunch. And then all of a sudden, they just exploded. Chalk, Schrock, DeAngelis, and Chaumont over the span of 3:26, 4 goals. Komets led 5-2 after 1. And a quick goal here in the second period by Bobby Chaumont, his second of the game, have given the Komets a 6-2 advantage as yet another save for Hogan.
Big Brent Henley was following up that shot, hoping to get on the scoreboard. I don't know if you have the same take that I do right now, Kent, but it just seems like the Thunder's will has been broken at this point. I mean, it seems like the Komets had play in their offensive zone for so long. A couple shifts ago, they were able to make a line change while still cycling around.
DeAngelis just flips it into the corner, and again, the first of the puck was the always hustling Vasquez. Chalk outmuscles his defender, and right now you have a guy without a stick. Auger, side of the net. Fans briefly thought, wait a second, but it hit the side of the netting. Flath steps into Auger, but right there is Vasquez to cycle it over to Chalk. Chalk is so strong with the puck right in front. Oh, it's kicked out of there by Flath, who didn't even have a stick. That's a great play by R.G. Flath. And now here comes Summers. Just rubbed off the play that time by DeAngelis, who loses his stick momentarily. Auger caroms it off the boards. He's finished off by Summers, but a lot of open ice now for the Komets to break it out. Maggio briefly has the puck blocked that time by Green, but now the K's get it into the Wichita zone. 4.5 minutes to go, period 2. 6-2 Fort Wayne in what could be the President's Cup clinching game for the Komets. Oh, the Komets just inches away from a 2-on-1. Wichita back the other way. Right now, just a lot of, if you put it in football terms, it'd be a lot of play between the 20s, a lot of play between the blue lines right now. Smith does the great job of just clearing the center ice. Big hit that time, applied by Mr. Energy, Tom Mealy. There's a shot blocked away by Boucher. Boucher trying to clear his net, and a Thunder player keeping him company in the paint. Now here comes Mealy. Mealy steps into his man as he gives Sawyer a rough ride. Now the K's continue just to go after the puck. Risk steps into Chappell, but here come the Thunder. Now it's Maggio taking his man down, and he's going to take a penalty. He'll probably get a hold on that one. Nope, they're going to call it a trip. So the rookie, Daniel Maggio, will go to the penalty box. And this penalty will come at the 16:29 mark. You see Maggio.
Yeah, just caught out of position here.
Yep, there's a trip. He got the knee up into the upper leg, the thigh area. As that time he rode Garrett Bembridge to the ice, so that'll be a trip.
K's have done a good job, unlike in Game 4, though, Ken, of staying out of the box for the most part. And the penalty kill has looked good when they've been out there. The couple times the Thunder have had the power play. So let's see if they can do it again here.
Well, it's just the second penalty on the Komets tonight. Wichita took 2 penalties in the first period. This is the second penalty on the Komets now here in period 2. And if the Komets can choke this one off, they will be in some decent shape. Schrock tries to get his hands on it. Now, instead, Henley does. Henley is going to just drag some time off the clock, and he'll flip it on goal as Hogan had to steer it aside. 3 minutes to go in period 2, a minute and a half to go in the Wichita power play. Tatro up ahead as Robinson spins near the top of the circle. Now he comes out to the point, comes up to Young. Young, now back over. Chappell comes back to the point. Siebel comes over to Young. Young will spin now at the half wall. Takes a look, feeds the pass to Davis. Now they come across. Siebel just tries to wheel it around behind the net. Now Wichita continues to cycle. Comes back to the point. Young has it in his skates briefly. Now gets it back to Matt Robinson. Now Robinson feeds to Davis. Now Wichita doing a good job of passing, but they're not getting a shot set up yet. Now Davis comes across. They feed it back to the point. Young with a drive. It's blocked in front. Good job that time by Milam. And the Komets clear. 2 minutes to go in period 2. 30 seconds on the Wichita power play. Here comes Young. Dumps it along the boards as it's wrapped around by Bure. Komets trying to clear, can't quite get it done. Now Henley has it briefly. Leo Thomas feeds ahead. Now here comes Smith, and he'll rag a little time off the clock as well. He will just feather it into the Wichita zone. Maybe one last rush for the Thunder as power play time is ticking off. Summers, a good move behind Henley. A drive. Oh, a great hustle by Molly to put his stick in front of that big shot. And the teams are back at full strength with 1:22 to go. Here come the Komets looking on the breakout. Maggio, who just got back on the ice, dumps it in. He'll go for the line change. Chalk putting some pressure that time on Jared Moore. Comes to center. And here come the Komets. Auger steps through one check. Cycles around for Vasquez. Vasquez lets it go, comes back to the point. Good job kept in by Risk. Risk will dump it back. Komets with a tremendous forecheck here in period 2.
Absolutely. It has been fantastic. They've done a great job of just stifling Wichita in their own end. Even the couple chances they've given up, it's been few and far between. They have done a fantastic job of taking the play to Wichita without taking too many chances.
Well, and the Komets now winning every puck battle as they are putting the pressure on. At time, Thorne steps into Tatro. You can just see the body language of the Wichita captain as he disconsolately heads for his bench with 22 seconds to go. And look at Smith hustle for the puck. Donahue tries to just put a little bit of a pick in front of him. We're down to 14 seconds. Mealy steps into Chris Green. Now right in front, Robinson with a shot that just slides wide of the net. Chaumont has it with 4 seconds to go. He'll take the little bump by Green, and the clock winds down, and we have completed 2 periods of play. And again, another standing ovation for the Komets here at the Coliseum. The K's with the lone goal coming off the stick of Chaumont at the 6:38 mark. Chaumont's second of the game. They have outshot Wichita 22-12 for the game. The K's on top of the Thunder 6-2. The Komets 20 minutes away from a championship here on Xfinity. Well, as you can see, the Fort Wayne Komets throughout this 2011-2012 Central Hockey League season back down from no opponent. That is why the Komets had the fortitude, the finesse, and the fight to win the Turner Conference Championship. And right now they are leading the champions of the Berry Conference, the team with the best overall record in the Central Hockey League, Wichita, 6-2. As we get set to head to the third period, the Komets 20 minutes away from a championship on Xfinity. Ken Horman back at the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum in Fort Wayne, Indiana. The teams have returned to the ice. And as the legendary Komet, member of the Charter Komet hockey team back in 1952, the man known as Mr. Hockey, Eddie Long, used to always say, boys, 20 minutes to Broadway. And the Komets are 20 minutes away from a Central Hockey League championship. If the K's go on to win the title, we will be here for the presentation of the Ray Myron President's Cup. Underway in period 3, the Komets ahead of Wichita 6-2. The championship series, a showdown between the top 2 overall teams in the Central Hockey League. But the Komets have had the better of the series. Tom Mealy comes out hitting to start period 3. Now the Thunder, Matt Robinson with a shot right on, whistles off the arm of Boucher and up over the pipe into the netting. Early opportunity for the Thunder.
That was a nice save by Bush. You don't want to give up a early goal at the beginning of this period and let any kind of life creep into the minds of the Thunder right now.
Well, I keep on thinking of the number 5. A win tonight would give Komet captain Colin Chalk his 5th championship in 10 seasons.
Amazing.
It would give head coach Al Sims his 5th championship as coach of the Komets. It would give the goaltender Nick Boucher his 4th championship in 5 years as the Komets netminder.
Wow.
There's a look at Al Sims. In his playing days, yeah, I'd say he had a pretty good lot in life. He was the defensive partner of a guy named Bobby Orr on the Boston Bruins. He had a pretty good career.
Yeah, not a bad deal. Not a bad deal at all.
I'll tell you what, Al had a solid NHL career, and he came to Fort Wayne as a player coach looking for a job at one point. Good thing the Komets brought him in because, as they say, the rest is history, and the Komets looking to add to their storied 60-year history tonight with a 9th overall championship. Wichita, though, don't expect them to go down quietly, but here comes Leo Thomas breaking out, dumps the puck in, slides past Tatro, backhands it behind. Chaumont battling for the puck, briefly gets it away from Chappell, and now back behind in the corner. Leo Thomas is given a bump that time as Travis White. Now they just try to pin it along the boards. There does not, quite honestly, seem to be much life in the Thunder here in the opening minute of period 3.
Well, and it'd be hard to make an argument for why they might have any at this point, Kent. They've been dominated throughout the course of this series. Really in a lot of ways, we're fortunate to get out of here on Saturday night and not being swept in this series. And they go into the final 20 down 4 goals, and not a lot to look to from a positive standpoint.
Well, and again, there were early signs of life by the Thunder. Wichita scoring 2.5 minutes into the game on a penalty shot by Aaron Davis, but On the long bus ride home, if it ends this way, Wichita will think of a 3-minute and 26-second span in the first period, during which the Komets reeled off 4 goals. Colin Chalk, Kaylee Schrock, Frankie DeAngelis, and Bobby Chaumont in less than 3.5 minutes. Shot right on, Boucher! And that time, well, looks like we may have some extracurriculars. And it looks like Summers was just drilled as he was trying to poach near the paint. Now we may have a Komet penalty as Summers is still down. Maggio, take a look on our replay. There's the big drive right there. That was turned loose by Beret as Boucher smothers. Now let's see what happened. Maggio comes in, bang,
Oh, wow.
puts the shoulder right into Summers. And you wonder if this may be a 4-minute penalty. They're talking it over. The penalty will come at the 1:28 mark.
Yeah, I hate to say it, Kent, but it should be a 4-minute penalty. I mean, that was, lunging up. I'm not sure if Maggio left his feet, but
Well, they're calling it an elbow, and I have to be honest. I kind of disagree, because there actually is a penalty. I saw it called in an NHL game yesterday in a virtually identical situation where the player came up with the shoulder, but raised the shoulder and initiated head contact. And in fact, it was Philadelphia's Claude Giroux, who's a skilled player. He got suspended a game. Tatro with a shot blocked away by Boucher. Nonetheless, Wichita is on a power play, and Auger finds some open ice. He sends it the length of the rink. So the penalty goes to Maggio. 2 minutes elbowing, 1:28 mark of period 3. This is probably last call for the Thunder. Tatro rings it in, but Boucher helps his team by first stopping it, then playing it along the glass, and the Komets are breaking out. Brett Smith, who captained the Bossier-Shreveport Mudbugs to a Central League championship last year, along with Komet defenseman Jamie Milam. Kind of tough going for Bossier-Shreveport. They win a title, then the team folds. So their loss was Fort Wayne's gain, as Smith and Milam have been key players with the Komets. Now Flath just feathers a little past to Beret. Beret tries to parallel the goal line. Now it comes from behind. It goes to the side. Beret tries to jam it home. No. Poked away. Young tries to get near it. And the Komets break out. John Michael Risk fires at the length of the rink. And still 50 seconds to go on the man advantage for Wichita. Thunder just dump it in. They're playing dump and chase right now. Komets just trying to block their path to the puck. Here comes big Brent Henley breaking out with the puck. He'll take a little time. Now he'll skate it up to the red line and just dump it back behind the net. Hogan leaves for Siebel. Schrock giving some pursuit. The always hustling Kaylee Schrock. Now here comes Davis. Davis tries to get by his man, but Milam stands him up. Just 14 seconds left in the power play. There's a drive. Looks like it caromed off the foot of level and goes over the pipe. Thunder one last opportunity. Good poke check that time by Smith. Smith on his horse, still gets the puck. Hogan has to come out and play it as Smith just outworked Robinson for the puck. Great job to choke off the power play, and again the Komet fans stand for their team. And that'll be icing against Wichita.
Well, you mentioned it, Kent. That might have been last call, and that effort right at the end of the power play for Wichita just kind of shows you what is going on down there and what the story of this series has been. And the story has been the Komets are a step quicker. They appear to want it just a little bit more, and they are on the doorstep of the organization's 9th title.
Colin Chalk on the draw against Aaron Davis. So it's the Chalk, Auger, Vasquez line out. Comes back to the point where the Komets have just dominated on faceoffs, led by the captain Colin Chalk. Vasquez whirls, tries to put it right on, and he thought he had Hogan beat, but it was deflected up into the crowd. Looks like the faceoff will remain in the Wichita zone, and you know, the team has to be starting to feel it a little bit, but I guarantee you if it's not the 10-480 that was in this building Saturday night, there's probably every bit of high eights, maybe dribbling over the 9,000 mark. They're starting to feel it.
Oh, absolutely. It is rocking in here. You can just feel the electricity. And now the Komets just got to get through these last couple of minutes, and we're going to have ourselves a party on our hands.
Dumped into the Komet zone, but again, no Thunder player really racing for the puck. Angeles clears ahead to Auger. Auger to Chalk. Now Auger has the puck back. Auger cycles to Bascovou, breaks in. Bascovou, oh, the backhander just drifts wide. Then Bascovou given the high hit by Tatro. Bascovou, the playoffs' leading scorer. He could be a candidate for MVP. Colin Chalk could be a candidate. Nick Boucher. Here comes Schrock breaking in. Shot steered aside that time by Hogan. Schrock slips the check of Young. Now Donahue tries to step in. Chalk has the puck briefly taken away, so the Thunder will just try to flip it to center ice. Lovell gloves it. Now Jamie Lovell has the puck knocked down briefly, dumps it into the corner, so they'll go for a line change. We approach 15 minutes to go in what could be the hockey season. There just does not seem to be any life or legs left in the Thunder.
Nope.
Ilam puts the heavy hit on Summers. Cleared back to neutral ice. And Wichita just firing it in. But no real forecheck applied by the Thunder. Summers tries to make a little something happen. And it was deflected off a Wichita player, so no icing. 14.5 to go. Now the Thunder, again, the hustling Brett Smith just pokes the puck away from Flath. Chappell leads the charge onside. Chappell in the slot. Save Boucher. And now with every save, Nick Boucher is hearing the Bouche chant from this big crowd at the Coliseum.
Well, and he deserves every single applaud that comes down from the rafters, because in many ways, and for a good portion of the season, he has been the most valuable player of this team.
Well, there is a good look at Nick Boucher. And a sharp guy, an educated guy. He played his college hockey at Dartmouth.
Yeah, then that's not too bad.
Well, the one thing that Boucher, and it's a great tag to have, goalie no matter what, but especially as a goaltender, one word, winner.
Yeah, no doubt.
He comes up biggest in the biggest games. That shot, a weak shot, is collected by Henley. Henley puts it ahead. Chalk dumps it into the corner where the speedy Bascovou pins Siebel to the boards. Wichita looking to break out. Puck comes ahead. Beauregard leaves for Davis. But the Thunder, it's a delayed offside, so Komets now will cycle it out. Henley now shoots it off of Robinson, but Auger has it. Bascovou caroms it off the boards, and again the Komets will go for a line change. Siebel drops it back to Tatro. Tatro, a hard-nosed defenseman and the captain of the Thunder. Chappell slips the check to Schrock. Leaves for Green. They try to come to Chappell in the slot. Komets poke it out. Schrock clears the neutral ice. Now the clock will now start to become the Komets' friend. Here's Chappell. Comes across. Bembridge fires wide, and the Komets looking to break it out. Thorne comes cross ice looking for risk. A little too strong. White to Tatro. Back to White. Across to Chappell. Chappell on the wing. Now spins at the half wall. Comes across, a good pass, and there's a shot that's in traffic. Goes off a combination of Bembridge and Milam. A lot of puck play right now in the neutral zone. Boucher wraps it around for Lovell. Lovell will slip the check that time to Justin Sawyer. Now the puck heading deep into the Wichita zone, and it'll be an icing. And again, if you're not familiar with the Central Hockey League, or frankly most of minor league hockey, unlike the NHL, to try to prevent the violent collisions of chasing a puck along the boards, they have the no-touch icing at this level, where the defenseman does not have to get to the goal line and touch the puck. If the puck just slides across the goal line, it is an icing. Now Brett Smith is chased from the face-off circle. It's like Mealy will step in. Draw is controlled by Flath. Cycled around, but the Komets will just try to clear to the half wall. Chaumont can't quite clear the zone. Now Chaumont bumping with Flath. And it is cleared. Hogan out to play it. Tries to fire ahead to create an odd man rush. Flath has it go off his stick. Molly takes the hit from Flath, but it's Flath who goes down. Now Molly giving Flath a bit of a ride. Centered right in front. Oh, Siebel. There's one save by Boucher. There's a second save. Comes back to the point. Shot steered aside again by Boucher. There's another one, this time by Beret, that comes over the top of the crossbar. Komets need a clear as the clock winds down to 11:44 to go. Henley dumps the pass ahead where it's gathered by Chalk. Komets have numbers. Chalk. Auger a little too sharp off the stick. Now that time Maggio fans on it. Here come the Thunder. There's a shot blocked by DeAngelis, then it gets to Boucher. Boucher will smother the puck. And Boucher at the top of his game right now.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Kent, that, as we mentioned at the top, Nick didn't feel like he played his best game on Saturday night in Game 4, and so many times throughout the course of his career, whenever he feels like he may have let one get by, he almost always comes back with an absolutely solid performance, and that's exactly what we're seeing from him here tonight.
Here you see an up-close and personal look at Brent Henley and Matt Summers battling along the boards. Now Nick Boucher covering it post to post. And the Komets now less than 11 and a half minutes away from a championship. Now that time Schrock stepped into a bit by White. Again, a lot of the play has been in the neutral zone. White comes cross ice to Tatro, back to White. Now he goes cross ice. Beauregard just tries to dump a shot toward the goal, but there's a drive, that time by White. Boucher again kicks it out. Komets trying to clear the zone. The Thunder score. Well, you thought sooner or later if the Komets could not clear the zone, and that's exactly what happened. And a quick shot from the slot beats Boucher, and it is now 6-3. Like that was Beauregard.
Beauregard again, and you give it to him right in the slot like that, it's going to be real hard to stop it. And Nick really kind of hung out to dry in that particular instance. Not many people are going to be able to stop that shot.
Beauregard with the goal. Time of the goal was 9:07, and again, Wichita not going quietly. That was Beauregard's 8th goal of the postseason, tying him for the team lead. And he leads the team in points. Here come the Thunder again. There's a shot right on. Another, that time blocked by Leo Thomas, doing a great job of back-checking. Kay's getting a little loosey-goosey, and there is still hockey to play. A little over half the period. And now all of a sudden, Wichita a little more pep. There's a shot that Boucher had to be alert, and he had to guard his post. Thunder doing a good job of pinning the K's in their own zone and trying to fire shots on from the point.
And crowd trying to get the K's back into this thing, wake them up a little bit.
Well, that'll be an icing, so Beauregard collects the goal. The time of the goal was 9:07 for Thomas Beauregard. Again, his 8th of the playoffs, and he now has a team-leading 19 points for the Thunder. Actually, he has an assist tonight, so give him 20 points. So he has been a catalyst, and see if Al Sims maybe has called a timeout.
Looks that way. This is just a great opportunity to get the guys over, refocus them, remind everybody exactly what they're trying to do in that shell, to try to force everybody to the outside, refocus, say to the guys, we're 10 minutes away from a title, let's just dig down one more time and get through this.
Well, there you see the Komets' popular mascot, Icy. Komets 10 minutes plus 2 away from a championship. And if the Komets do hold on to win the championship, we have been told that the team's season-ending party, the Komets always have a team party at the end of the season, win or lose as far as a championship. They have a jersey auction to raise money for local charities. Well, one way or another, nonetheless, the team party and the jersey auction will be Thursday here at the Coliseum beginning at 6:30. They're hoping it is a President's Cup championship party. Puck does not have enough steam to get across the goal line for an icing, so here come the Thunder. Baskevu trying to step up the forecheck. Wichita now just trying to get the puck deep and then crash in and make the Komets commit a turnover. Now the K's looking to bust out. Here comes Chalk. He's got Auger with him. Baskevu on the left side. Chalk slides the check that time of Travis White. Now they bang along the boards, picked out by the Thunder. And it's Wichita looking for the breakout. Chris Green dumps it in. Baskevu battling with Alex Bourret. Chalk gets the puck. Oh, that time it looked like Summers stepped into him with a little bit of a high elbow in a battle of 91s. They can't clear the point. There's a shot that carries over the top of the net. Chalk takes a look. Here comes Summers again, who bangs into Chalk. And the puck again is deep in the Wichita zone. No icing, under 9 minutes to play. Komets still with a 3-goal advantage. Well, one linesman had the hand up for icing. Boucher loses his catching glove. There's a shot. It goes off the tail of Boucher. It's in the crease. Bodies flying everywhere. And that could have been an anxious moment for the Komets. Yeah. First, Boucher loses his catching glove, Tommy. They get all discombobulated. Boucher has got his tailgate pointing out, and I thought Wichita came close to banking the puck in off of him.
Well, Bouch definitely thought that he was going to get an icing on that. And let his guard down for 1 second. No icing was called. You can see right there on the near post. Wow, Nick doing everything he can to try to, may have been his first ever rear end save.
Well, we've got a timeout on the ice. The Komets lead 6-3 with 8:42 to go in the broadcast. You're watching Komet Hockey on Xfinity. Back at the Coliseum off the draw, Bryant Molly controls for the Komets. His pass goes off the skates of Jean-Michael Risk, and since that was behind the red line in center ice, that'll be another icing called on the Komets. But again, the Komets just over 8.5 minutes away from a championship. You know, you see Jean-Michael Risk, it's a long-time hockey tradition, as everybody is wondering, why does everybody have a beard? The history of the playoff beard, as urban legend has it, goes back to those New York Islanders teams of the 1980s. Mike Bossy, Brian Trottier, Bob Nystrom, Dennis Potvin. And Potvin said, what a lot of people don't remember, even in the NHL back in the 80s, oftentimes the first round of the playoffs, they played 4 games in 5 nights.
Yeah.
So it only takes 1-2 guys to not shave. What's going on? Well, who has time to shave? And then all of a sudden, everybody's doing it. And then the other thing, too, they say you look in a mirror and it's a reminder that it's time for the team unity thing and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So it has been a long-time hockey tradition all over North America that come playoff time, to a man, the players do not shave. You call it the playoff beard, but I guarantee you, in about 7.5 minutes, as Boucher gloves a shot from the point, come tomorrow, a lot of these guys are going to be clean-shaven.
Oh, absolutely. They can't wait. Although some of them, I think, probably embrace it.
I'm just not sure their significant others embrace it.
Exactly.
And there again, the Komet defenseman doing a great job of giving Boucher a clear sight line, a clear path to the puck. Davis on the draw against Colin Chalk. 7:42 to go to perhaps another Komet championship. And right now you think of the newcomers on this team. Chris Auger, David Steranki, who hasn't played much in these finals, but he's had his moments. Stephon Thorne, Bryant Molly,
Bobby Shomon,
a newcomer. And then you think of the veterans and the acquisitions that general manager Dave Franke made during the season, bringing in a Jamie Lovell, bringing in a guy, well, Brett Henley returning to the team.
Yeah.
And then the acquisition of Mike Vascavu on waivers from Rapid City. You talk about biting the hand that once fed you. Vascavu just tore up the Rapid City Rush, and he's not looked back as he is the leading overall scorer in the entire postseason. He's on the ice now with Chalk and Auger. Chalk slides away from Davis, but Young comes back to help out. Now the Thunder again look for a breakout. Robinson down the middle to Davis. His quick shot just a little bit wide. Young keeps it in deep. DeAngelis tries to clear. Davis has had a good solid postseason as he is bumped to the boards by Vascavu. Komets looking for a breakout. Now Vascavu trying to sneak in behind Sawyer. Robinson slips Risk. Chalk puts a body on him. Risk comes back. And now again, the Komets doing a good job of bottling up the Thunder. Thorne with a shot that whistles wide. Hustling to keep it in. A nifty little backhand play that time by Bryant Molly. Another one of the great newcomers this year. Now Matt Robinson busting in off the wing. Shot goes off the feet of Molly as Robinson goes to the ice. They come back to the point. Quick attempt that time by Jared Moore. Nothing doing. Risk battling along the ice with Garrett Bembridge. And now Henley steps into his man. They dig the puck out. Oh, Bembridge is given another shove that time. So the Komets are stepping up the body play a little bit as Jean-Michael Risk. And this is that third line of Risk and Schrock and Thorne. They just dig. Centering pass attempted that time for Green. Again, it flips over the top of the net. Well, Wichita has come on as far as shots on goal. The K's have only outshot them now by one, 25-24. After outshooting them 14-6 in the first period, 8-6 in period two. So the Komets had a 10-shot advantage coming into this period. The K's have been outshot 12-3 so far. And Wichita has the lone goal of this period. 5:20 to go. Brian Hogan pressed into emergency service with the injury to the number one goalie, Adam Russo, in game two. Now Beret mixing it up a little bit that time with Lovell. Here's Shomon. Now we may have something going. And Beret gets a shove that time by Lovell. I'll tell you what, Beret's the luckiest person on the ice, because if he would have gone with Mealy, that would have been a problem. So Lovell just did him a favor. Beret is going to go off for some penalty time, as is Lovell, and we'll see if Mealy goes as well. All of this coming at the 14:57 mark.
And it does look like Tommy's going to go. So Wichita will be on the power play, it looks like, Kent.
Well, there you're seeing our replay. Well, Jamie Lovell could taste a championship, and he is not going to have any lip from anybody. So you're going to have Beret go.
For Wichita's number 13, Alex Beret, 2 minutes roughing.
He gets a rough.
Number 7, Jamie Lovell, 2 minutes cross-checking. For the Komets, number 10, Tom Mealy, 2 minutes roughing.
Mealy gets a roughing, and Lovell gets a cross-checking. I don't know if we can get our replay back. It's actually pretty funny because it looked like Lovell just went up and just took his left hand, his glove, and more or less shoved him to the ice. I don't know where he comes up with the cross-check. But anyway, it'll be Beret for roughing. Here we're going to see it again. Lovell with a cross-check, Mealy with roughing. Here comes Beret in.
And this had actually started moments before, Kent, because Mealy kind of got a little physical on his check right before that occurred, and I think that caused Beret to get into him a little stronger than he maybe normally would have. But
well, don't go away, because this is a Wichita power play. Henley immediately sends it the length of the rink. Under 5 minutes to go, Komets still lead 6-3, but the Thunder a chance to close the gap. Flath comes ahead. Now the puck into the corner to Chappell, who dumps it back to the point. Tetro with a drive. It caroms that time off the ankle of Colin Chalk. Now Bryant Molly behind the boards. Lots of room for Henley, and he can just take a look. Can't get it completely clear, but this could be a break for the Komets. Racing it is Auger. Fakes the shot. Just a little flipper over the back of the glass. Komets is trying to take care of the penalty and watch that clock wind down. Thunder need instant offense. Komets again, a great job of clearing, and look at Smith hustling after Tatro to force the issue.
Just stalking him.
Now Robinson has to cycle behind his own goal, and here he comes racing across center ice. Just tries to feather it in. Great clear that time by Milam. Less than a minute to go in the power play, less than 4 minutes to go in the broadcast. And right now the Fort Wayne Komets can smell the President's Cup, and they clear it again. And here comes Kaylee Schrock with a full head of steam. Schrock racing in. He beats him to the puck. He beat Jared Moore to the puck. Look at Schrock work. Schrock single-handedly drawing a standing ovation from the big crowd at the Coliseum. Schrock lost his hat. Here come the Thunder back the other way. Schrock will chip it out again, and he'll go for the line change.
Well, Kaylee can feel a championship just like the rest of these guys, and they are putting everything they have into getting rid of this power play and getting rid of the last 3 minutes and 15 seconds of this clock.
Henley chips it along the boards. Flath tries to keep it in, and the Komets clear. And that'll be a whistle because it was playing the puck with the stick above the shoulders by Wichita. Face-off will be in the Thunder end, and for the umpteenth time tonight, this crowd is on its feet. A sea of orange is saluting the Fort Wayne Komets just over 3 minutes away from the championship.
Yeah, and the celebration is definitely starting up here in the press box, in the building. The Bronchies shaking everybody's hands. Smiles have come out. 3 minutes and 6 seconds, 3-goal lead. Everybody in the building knows that the Komets are getting ready to win the organization's 9th title.
And now Colin Chalk putting the pressure on. The fans continue to be on their feet as they are counting it down. Milam steps into Flath. The Komets just clear to center ice. Chappell blows a tire, and here comes Bascovou. Bascovou looks to center shot. Oh, just a little bit wide. He had Milam breaking in from his defensive slot, and the Komets hustle back. Now Green. Tommy Schegler is apparently going downstairs, so that'll be a great situation. Here comes Donahue as he flips it in. Komets under 2.5 minutes away. And there is a whistle. 2:22 to go. The Komets on top of Wichita, 6-3. Now let's see what the conversation is. Nick Boucher is having a little chat with Peter Tarnaris, the referee. Well, what a night it will be for that guy, who just spells championship. It would be his 4th in 5 years wearing that Comet uniform. Leo Thomas in on the draw against Robinson. Thomas controls the draw. Thomas just trying to take time off the clock, whirling and firing over the net is Robinson. That time Tarnaris, the referee, is knocked to his feet, much to the delight of the crowd. Smith looks to chip it out. We are 2 minutes away from a Fort Wayne Komet championship. And the fans in chorus cheering on their team. Not much pressure now applied by the Thunder. Maggio slips a check. 100 seconds to the cup in Fort Wayne. Puck comes out front. White keeps it in. Komets now just getting in front of everything. Stefan Thorne, 1.5 minutes to go. Komets changing about every 30, 40 seconds just to keep fresh legs out there. Here's Lovell. He can taste a championship. Jamie Lovell skates over center ice, dumps it in, and the Komets are feeling it. They're standing at their bench. ready to break out in a celebration as Davis along the Bembridge. 1 minute to the cup. Vasquez pinched by Chappell. Now there's a shot again, flip behind the goal, look out. Now Bryant Molly has it. 45 seconds to go. And the fans on their feet at the Coliseum. Here comes Lovell, just flips it off the boards. Chuck, what a leader he's been. He collects. Down to 30 seconds to go. You can forget the bus ride to Wichita as Vasquez clears, and here comes Auger. Auger breaking in, he shoots. Oh, a backhander goes over the top. 10 seconds to the cup. The Komets raising their sticks. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and they've done it. The Fort Wayne Komets have won the Ray Myron President's Cup as the champions of the Central Hockey League. Let the celebration begin at the Coliseum in Fort Wayne. Must be for that man, Jamie Lovell. Twice denied a championship by this very organization when he played for Port Huron in the old International Hockey League. Talk about a pair of champions embracing there. Nick Boucher, his 4th cup in 5 years as a Comet. Al Sims, his 5th championship as coach of the Komets. And the celebration is underway here at the Coliseum in Fort Wayne. Last year, the Komets' first season in the Central Hockey League. Talk about a learning curve. Started out terribly, in danger of not even making the playoffs, and then eliminated by the Rapid City Rush in a best-of-5 series. The Komets committing themselves to retooling the roster. There's one of them, Chris Auger, Bryant Molly. They wanted to get younger, faster, a little blend. Yes, they kept 6-7 veterans, Colin Chalk, Kaylee Schrock, Leo Thomas, Frankie DeAngelis, and of course the goalie, Nick Boucher. And did this ever team find immediate chemistry? And then the additions, as we talked about. Jamie Lovell coming over, Mike Vasquez. Unbelievable play by the Komets. Here's one of the greatest traditions in hockey, the handshake. We'll have the cup presentation after this timeout on Xfinity.
Welcome back to a raucous Memorial Coliseum here in Fort Wayne. The K's have just finished off a win in the President's Cup final. They are about to receive the Ray Myron President's Cup down here on the ice. Tommy Schegler, Ken Horman is upstairs. The guys have just finished shaking hands with Wichita. We've got to let you in on the scene here as the cup is getting ready to come out. Obviously, the crowd giving it up for Nick Boucher, who once again came through with an unbelievable series and captured his 4th title with the K's in 5 years of work. Kaylee Schrock is down here congratulating everyone. And right now, everybody all smiles, celebrating another championship. And this is going to be a lot of fun, Ken, as we get ready to present the President's Cup.
Mr. Jim Wiley.
I'll send it back up to you.
Thank you.
You can call this action, and we'll try to get some of these guys down here for an interview.
It's a pleasure to present the 2012 Central Hockey League President's Cup most valuable player
about to present
to Fort Wayne player number 22, Mike Vasquez.
an acquisition. Mike Vascavu, placed on waivers by Rapid City, picked up by the Komets, and Vascavu led everybody in postseason scoring, 10 goals. What a job by Vascavu. He winds up with a total of 10 goals, 14 assists for 24 points. And Mike Vascavu saluting the crowd. You see the Komets already wearing their President's Cup championship hats.
And now for the moment we've all waited for since last October. To cap off the 60th anniversary season of Fort Wayne Comet Hockey, welcome the Commissioner of the Central Hockey League, Mr. Dwayne Lewis, for the presentation of the Reimeron Cup.
And now the Commissioner of the Central Hockey League, Dwayne Lewis, will present the Ray Myron President's Cup. And you talk about one happy guy who'll be the first to touch it. It will be the Comet captain, Colin Chalk. You talk about a champion. Colin Chalk's fifth
First
championship.
off, we'd like to congratulate the Wichita Thunder on a great regular season championship, to their ownership, to their players, to the front office. Congratulations, Wichita. And now while you're all here, to the Fort Wayne Komets organization, the ownership, all the Franke brothers, we're here to present you with another piece of hardware for your proud tradition here in Fort Wayne.
Dwayne Lewis, the Commissioner of the Central Hockey League, about to present the President's Cup.
To the fans of Fort Wayne, thank you very much for all your support in the Central Hockey League. To the head coach, Al Sims, assistant coach, Gary Graham, and the entire support staff, great job this season. And now to the players. You battled all year, 66 games, you win the Turner Conference, and you come through as playoff champions. So here, the 2012 Central Hockey League Ray Myron President's Cup champions, your Fort Wayne Komets. Captains, come on over.
Now there he is, the captain, Colin Chalk. And you talk about a true champion. Came here 2002, 2003, led the Komets to the Colonial Cup championship. And now caps it off with a Central Hockey League championship. Posing for photos right now, again with Dwayne Lewis, the Commissioner of the CHL. And Colin Chalk is about to hoist the cup here in Fort Wayne. The little kiss. Again, another one of the great hockey traditions. After teams battle it out for an entire series, everybody shakes hands before they leave the ice, and then the parade of the cup around the Coliseum. Let's send it back now to the ice and Tommy Shegler.
Down on the ice now, they just presented the Ray Myron President's Cup. Michael Franke, the team president. Just tell me how you're feeling right now.
Well, this is unbelievable. You know, I really didn't think this was going to happen a couple months ago. Not because of any particular reason, but there were a lot of good teams in the league, and I really wasn't thinking about this. But everybody came together then at the end. Everybody came together at the end, and we outwilled them. We outwilled them. We outwilled Missouri. We could have lost that fourth game down in Missouri. The puck was all over our crease that night, but somehow it stayed out, and we scored in the second overtime. And now here we are tonight, winning it 4-1. And hey, what a testament to the fans, though. 9,500 people. 14 hours we sold that many tickets. These fans are the greatest.
And a great way to end 60 years.
60-year anniversary went out with a bang.
Congratulations, buddy. Appreciate it. All right, Ken, back up to you.
Now there is another one of the key additions, Brent Henley. He had NHL experience. He had another couple of tours with the Komets. The big guy comes back, and he hands it off to the goalie, Nick Boucher. His 4th Cup championship in 5 years wearing a Komet uniform. Moments ago, Brett Smith was parading the cup around. The 2nd consecutive year Smith has hoisted the cup. And now it goes to the playoff MVP, Mike Vascavou. Now, Komet General Manager David Franke will look back on that acquisition and just smile. Rapid City putting him on waivers. The Komets gobbled him right up. He became a fixture on the Colin Shaw, Chris Auger line.
Good morning and good day. What a celebration.
And then
here on
leads
the ice.
The playoffs and
the
scoring
winners, how about
points.
that? Did you enjoy that?
Playoff MVP. Let's go back to Tommy Schegler.
All right, Ken, joined by Kelly Schrock now. How you feeling?
I feel great. I feel great. It never gets old. You know what? It never gets old.
You guys jumped on him again early tonight. That was so key.
Yeah, well, you know, we battled back after they got the first one. That was huge, and we did a great job. We came back, and you know, I think the universe was out of sync. Game 4, we hit 6 posts, and tonight the pucks went in for us. So, congratulations, buddy.
Again, they talk about 9,500 strong flooding the Coliseum tonight on a Monday. This after they had about 10,500 on Saturday. You think this city does not love its hockey club? There's Frankie DeAngelis.
Yeah, we just wanted to come out.
He has hoisted the cup high before.
I wanted to discourage him right away.
Bobby Showman, one of the newcomers to this year's squad. He had 2 big goals tonight. I have to be honest, I have been around for a lot of these championships, going back to 72, 73, 2003, the 3 in a row, 8, 9, and 10, and now tonight. This has to be one of the more complete and closest knit teams I've ever seen. Chris Auger, what a first year he had in Fort Wayne. Auger had a sensational postseason as well. Huge cheers for the Fort Wayne native, Kaylee Schrock, as he parades the cup around. And now let's go back to the ice and Tommy Schegler.
Back down on the ice now with Brett Smith. Okay, this is kind of like back-to-back for you in a way.
It's unbelievable. I never thought I'd be back on this stage. I mean, I never thought I'd win one to begin with, but...
Hey, Cone! Wichita 6, hey, Cone!
It's just amazing to win it here in front of this tremendous city and tremendous crowd. Couldn't ask for anything more.
Yeah, what has this year been like for you? I mean, to go through the disappointment of Bossier folding and now to be here.
You know, it was obviously sad. I'm a mud bug for life. That's where I was. But coming here, this place turned me over, and I'm a Komet now, and I loved every second of this year. It's a great group of guys, and it couldn't be a better group to win it with. It's awesome.
We loved having you, buddy.
All right, thank you.
Ken, back up to you.
Jerry Festa, another great acquisition via a trade during the season. Tell you what, General Manager David Franke probably just should have been a riverboat gambler or gone to Las Vegas, because everything he rolled came up 7 with all of these acquisitions. And he had a very solid hockey club coming out of training camp. Bryant Molly, the brother of Dustin Molly, who played here last year. Dustin was on this year's team, but just could not stay healthy. Veteran Leo Thomas celebrating another cup with his young son. And the celebration continues. Let's go back to the ice and Tommy Schegler.
All right, back down to the ice with the big guy, Ken. How you feeling right now, Brett?
Oh, unbelievable. There's not words, don't describe it. Just it's the greatest feeling in the world right now.
To be here again and to come back to this city and to this organization, to have it end this way, I would just think it's got to be so rewarding.
All the work we put in all year, every member of the team, the coaching staff, this is why you do it. This is the best place to play. This is the best ownership, the best fucking captain in the league, best goalie. best fans, everything. We all deserve this. It's just we worked so hard for so long, and to have it come to this is just the best feeling in the world.
Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you so much.
All right, Ken, back up to you.
There you see some of the guys who couldn't skate getting their chance to touch the cup. Again, talking about how Dustin Molly, Brian's brother, had a very difficult time staying healthy, had a leg injury and just couldn't quite come all the way back from it. Tried it at one point and the leg went again. But everybody gets their hands on the cup. Well, as they say, history. The Komets, 7 championships in the old International Hockey League, a championship in the United Hockey League, and this their first championship in the Central Hockey League in just their second season in this league. Well, it was a sea of orange Saturday night. Obviously disappointed because the Komets did not complete the sweep, but most all of them came back for a second helping tonight, some 9,500 strong. And tonight is the night where the Komets hoist the President's Cup. Talked about this during the broadcast. The Komets always have a season-ending team party during which they auction their jerseys, with the proceeds going to local charities. For those interested, especially people here in Fort Wayne, that party is now set for Thursday night here at the Coliseum beginning at 6:30. Back to the ice and Tommy.
I might as well finish up with the captain, Ken. I told him I wanted to see him get one for the thumb. That's what you just did, my friend.
You told me before the game you wanted to see me with a smile on my face, so there you go.
Just talk about your feeling right now. I mean, going through what you guys went through in the first year in the CHL last year, coming in with a chip on your shoulder, wanting to prove something, and then having this happen.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I think last year's club, we got in our heads a little bit. We kind of let everyone dictate the play to us, and we lost ourselves. And I think this year we came in believing that we had a good squad, and we convinced everybody, including our fans, that AA hockey's AA hockey, and you got to get out there and go to war and go to the tough areas, and this club did it every night.
5 championships in 10 years with the Komets. That's a pretty good run by any standard.
Yeah, I'll take it. You know, it's definitely wasn't easy, and everybody had an equal part in it.
Congratulations, buddy.
Thanks.
All right, I think that about does it from down here. Guys are starting to break up. Ken, obviously a great scene. They're getting ready to do the team picture. We can bring you some of that video. But for now, back up to you.
Tommy, thanks so much. Great job down there at ice level. It's always fun, it's always hectic, and the Komets preparing to take their championship team picture. We're going to take a break and come back with our final thoughts. The Komets are the champions of the Central Hockey League. This is Komet Hockey on Xfinity. Well, back at the Coliseum, the party just beginning. And what a way to cap off our Komet hockey coverage here on Xfinity. Special thanks go to Brent Hatch of Xfinity, Vice President of Marketing and Operations Scott Sproat of the Komets for putting this together. Thanks to my partner, Tommy Schegler, on the broadcast. Thanks to the Frocky family, everybody involved with the Komet organization. And a special thanks to those tremendous 20 players who brought it home. We don't know what the future holds in store for the Komets as far as will they be back in the Central Hockey League next year or perhaps a new league. Could they be knocking on the door of the East Coast Hockey League? We shall see. But the Komets set to start another 60 years next year. They are the champions. You've been watching Komet Hockey on Xfinity.